The internet is no stranger to making people famous, whether it's for a short time or sometimes much longer. And then there are people like Big Ed, the kind who, despite being hated by the masses and even having multiple petitions signed to get him off TV, somehow just keeps coming back. A man who cheated on his own wife, yet every time he talks about love on screen, he presents himself as if he's the one who was hurt, like he's the victim in the story. And after his divorce, instead of slowing down or reflecting on it, he continued going after women significantly younger than him, even younger than his own daughter. He's also known for things like putting mayonnaise in his hair and creating some of the most uncomfortable reality TV moments ever aired. And every time it seems like he's done, he finds his way back into the spotlight. Most people know him from 90 Day Fiancé. But his story is more than just one bad relationship caught on camera. It's a pattern, a cycle that keeps repeating, leaving him single, lonely, and desperate, all rooted in the kind of person he is. And it doesn't start on TV. You can trace it back to his earlier relationships, long before he ever appeared on screen, including his divorce and the messy history that followed. Then he ends up on a TLC show called 90 Day Fiancé, a show where couples have 90 days to decide whether they're going to get married, usually between a US citizen and someone from another country. And yeah, that definitely sets the stage for some drama. And that's where we meet Rose, a single mother living a completely different life, about to meet Ed for the first time. But before getting into the show itself, a bit of context is needed to understand how things even got here. You see, Big Ed was a 54-year-old photographer from the United States at the time, already coming from a past that included a failed marriage that ended after he cheated on his wife.
My track record with relationships is not very good. I was married for 2 years, and it didn't work out because I was unfaithful.
The nickname Big Ed, believe it or not, was something he had chosen for himself, claiming it came from having a big personality, despite his, well, relatively small physical stature. Growing up, he was heavily bullied for his height and often called no-neck Ed due to a condition known as Klippel-Feil syndrome, which affects the bones in the neck. Over time, those experiences seemed to shape a lot of his insecurities and how he carried himself later in life. He even talked about this during his time on the show.
My height is something that I'm very self-conscious of, but it's something that I've been able to overcome because I'm Big Ed.
After his divorce, Ed eventually met a 23-year-old woman named Rose online through Facebook. They started talking, and according to Ed, things escalated quickly on his side, with him claiming he fell in love head over heels relatively early in their conversations.
Is Rosemarie. She's 23 years old, and she lives in the Philippines. One day I'm online on social media. I'm scrolling through, adding friends, and I come across Rosemarie's picture, and I'm like, oh my God. I sent her a friend request. She accepted me, and we became friends about 3 months ago. She has the most amazing, deep brown eyes. I was like, wow, I'm in love.
And when you see them side by side, the contrast is pretty hard to ignore. Different ages, different lives, completely different worlds. It's not exactly subtle why this dynamic stands out. Now, to put that into perspective, Ed's own daughter was already 28 at the time, meaning he was getting involved with someone younger than the daughter he had from his previous marriage. Despite all of that and the obvious gap between them, he decided to take things further and flew out to the Philippines to meet Rose in person for the first time. And needless to say, the meeting was awkward right from the beginning. At the very start, Ed immediately asks Rose if he's what she expected. Rose responds honestly that she thought he would be taller, and that's because Ed had already catfished her about his height, telling her he was about 5 foot 2 inches when in reality he was closer to 4 foot 11 inches.
That you.
Am I what you expected? Do you like?
I expected yours told to me.
I thought if I told you I was the same height, maybe I would have a chance.
But this moment is really just a preview of what's to come, because things only get worse once Ed actually goes to stay with Rose. To be fair, Rose was a poor girl from the Philippines, and her living conditions reflected that. Her home didn't have the same comforts Ed was used to. But even with that context, Ed's reactions come off as rude and dismissive from the moment he arrives. The first thing he says when stepping inside is questioning whether the roof will even hold.
Half of the houses don't have windows. It's pretty much open. I'm not looking forward to it. Will this roof hold? It's not gonna come down, no?
From there, he continues complaining about almost everything, from not having air conditioning to saying the bedding wasn't suitable for his condition.
With my sister.
But I have a skin condition called atopic dermatitis, so I can only sleep with sheets that have at least 1,000 thread count. So I preemptively shipped these special sheets to Rose, but they didn't arrive. And this was one of the worst nights of my life. I'm completely drained. I haven't slept. The mattress that I slept in was soaking wet. This was the first night I've ever spent without access to air conditioning, and I hated it.
At one point, he even goes to work with Rose's father on a pig farm. And instead of just adapting to the environment, he puts plastic bags over his shoes before stepping outside, fully leaning into how uncomfortable he is with the situation. It's a pattern that quickly becomes obvious. Instead of trying to connect with Rose's world, Ed spends most of his time pointing out everything he finds wrong with it. Eventually, Ed managed to convince Rose to travel with him to a different part of the Philippines, where they would stay in a hotel together. But once they arrived, something immediately felt off. He had booked 2 separate beds for a room that was supposed to be shared. When Rose questioned it, Ed explained that he wanted to take things slow.
Why you want 2 beds?
Because I want to take it slow.
Okay, you're so sweet.
Yeah, I want you to feel comfortable.
However, in a later interview, he admitted the real reason was different. He said Rose didn't talk much about her past relationships, and because of that, he was worried she might have an STD. Now, coming from someone who had already cheated on his own wife, the situation came off as highly hypocritical.
More than to be intimate with Rose right now, but I'm not really comfortable doing that yet. I still know nothing about her past, so I'm not planning on having sex with Rose until she takes an STD test.
Later during their date, things got even more uncomfortable when Ed asked Rose to take an STD test. The way he brought it up made it feel like she was unclean, while he positioned himself as the responsible one, even though he tried to soften it by saying he didn't mean to offend her. There were clearly better ways he could have approached that conversation, but the delivery was extremely tone deaf.
No, yeah, it's a test for I don't know if you understand it. It's STD, which is, I think it's a blood test, and they just test to see if you have like sexually transmitted disease.
You want to test me? I feel you not trust me. Okay. I feel offended.
When Rose agreed, she also asked him to take one as well. I mean, fair enough. However, instead of agreeing, he refused, saying not that he wouldn't take it at all, but that he wouldn't take it in the Philippines, implying that it was okay for her to take it there, but not for him. And somehow, even this still wasn't the breaking point. After they made up the next morning over breakfast, they ended up having sex anyway. As Ed woke up, he seemed excited to move things forward again. But instead of a romantic or normal moment, he immediately pointed out something else. He told Rose that her legs were hairy. Yeah, just have one look at this dude and imagine him telling someone that they are hairy. And the way he said it came off awkward and almost unintentionally insulting, especially the way he spoke to her as if she wouldn't understand him. Ironically, despite her limited English, Rose consistently showed more emotional awareness and social understanding than Ed throughout their interactions. He says, "Your legs are kind of like mine," basically implying they're both hairy in a way that clearly wasn't meant as a compliment. He then goes on to ask Rose to shave her legs, and the way he phrases it later in interviews makes it sound more like a demand than a mutual request.
Awfully clipboard.
Last night when I noticed that your legs were kind of like mine, they were hairy.
What?
You know, leg hair, it just seems kind of less feminine for a woman. So yeah, I don't like leg hair. It's gross.
So yeah, anyways, Rose agrees, but only on the condition that Ed also shaves his beard, which had grown out by that point. She holds up her side of the deal, but when it comes to Ed, we later see that he never actually follows through. But this is still the beginning. What made things worse was what he did later when he told Rose he had a surprise for her. The next day, he asked her to close her eyes and then pulled out 2 sets of lingerie.
Don't look. No look, okay? Hope you like. So this goes on top. And then this. So this is for outdoors.
Okay.
The swimming pool. And then, big surprise.
What is that? For?
It's called a teddy. My dog is named Teddy. This is also called Teddy. Rose and I have only made love once, so being intimate is still quite new for us. But all in all, I think Rose and I have good chemistry. I brought along a couple presents from home, so I think now is the time to give her lingerie.
Yeah, the guy who wanted to keep things slow just bought her lingerie. Real slow, Ed.
You want to try that on now? Are you nervous?
Yeah, to this.
Okay.
When Ed gave me a lingerie, I feel shocked because I don't know how to wear it. Because this is the first time to say it like this.
The moment immediately made Rose uncomfortable. These were the kind of gifts that are usually introduced much later in a relationship, not a few days after meeting someone in person for the first time. But the second gift was arguably even worse. He then gave her a toothbrush and toothpaste, saying it was because he thought her breath smelled bad. Yup.
So this is mouthwash, and I got you a cute toothbrush. Just your breath is not pretty. One of the first things I noticed, even at the airport, was her breath, but I didn't know how to bring it up. And I don't think she realizes it, but I do. And then I got you good toothpaste. Do you know that my concern is your health? Because if you get disease in your mouth, it goes to your heart. You could get sick. Do you understand?
I know what you mean, but this is my stomach, not my teeth.
Oh,
I
really?
have an ulcer,
Oh, you have an ulcer?
Yeah,
This is the first time you're telling me you have an ulcer.
I always toothbrush.
Okay. So now you tell me, I understand from my heart. I care about you.
I know. I'm so exalted that I want to give a punch to Ed, and I feel embarrassed. I think Ed is a rude person. If Ed truly loved me, kailangan na lang tanggapin ni Ed kung ano ko.
I love you.
The issue is that Rose later explained she did brush her teeth regularly, and that the problem was actually related to a stomach ulcer. Another thing about Ed that always seemed off was his timing, or more specifically, how poorly he chose when to say certain things. We mean, just look at how cringe it is even when he tries to give a compliment.
I like the view.
You do?
Yes.
You're my best view.
Me.
Beyond that, he also picked a very strange moment to bring up a serious issue. During a romantic candlelit dinner at the hotel, he suddenly asked her about an incident involving Rose's sister, who had previously asked Ed for money to help save her shop. He questioned whether Rose knew about it, which she denied.
When I was in San Diego, your sister Maria asked me for money, for help, but also asked me not to tell you. So, did you know about that?
I don't know.
You didn't know anything about that?
No.
I wasn't sure if you were involved, but you're telling me you're not.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I believe you. Okay, I believe you.
Really?
Your sister made me doubt you, but no more.
The problem was that this was not the right time for that conversation at all, especially since Rose's sister had originally brought it up while Ed was still in the United States. He had plenty of time to ask about it earlier, but he waited until a tense moment during dinner to bring it up instead. Good game, Ed. But wait, because the worst example came at the end of the trip. Right before things fell apart, Ed told Rose that he had scheduled a vasectomy because he did not want more children. The issue is that earlier in their conversations, Rose had made it clear that she still wanted more kids. Despite that, he never brought it up until the very last moment of the trip.
What? I do not understand.
There's an operation in here where it's a snip. It prevents me from getting you pregnant.
Why you not tell me last night?
I didn't know how.
I want 2 kids because that's my dream. I tell you before, right? I tell you I want 2 kids, but why you not answer me like this? I feel very, very, very sad. And I think I give you a time for...
So when he finally revealed it, it became the breaking point of their relationship. Rose left Ed after that conversation.
I think for now, I not feel good.
Okay, not feel good about having kids.
Yeah.
You want kids.
Yeah, I want kids because that's my dream. I feel irritated, I feel disappointed, because I told Ed so many times I want baby. Why you not tell me the truth? You not want a baby? Why?
What do you mean?
Why you not tell me first before you come here? Why? Why? What's wrong?
Because I'm 54 years old. I don't want more kids.
Why you not tell me the truth? Why you not telling me first on chatting? Why you tell me right now? Oh, yesterday. Why you not tell me before you come here?
I should have been more truthful. I apologize. I should have said, look, I don't want more kids, but I wanted to get to know you. I wanted you to get to know me, to make sure that we are compatible. I wanted you to see who I am.
I know who you are. I think. You first lied to me about height, right? And then you want to give me STD test, right? And about mouthwash, and Why you tell me? I know I have a sick and I have an ulcer. So I'm disappointed because you always embraced me. Yeah. And about to my sister, I think you think me like my sister, same. You think I want your money, not you. You give me feel a little bit person. I think you not love me. I'm done.
Afterwards, Ed was visibly emotional, talking about how he could not believe she was really gone, even though from the outside it was clear that this was a joke of a relationship that had been falling apart from day one. We mean he had moved far too quickly and pushed the idea of marriage long before they were ever on the same page. However, at this point, people still didn't really hate Big Ed. Most just saw him as awkward and unintentionally funny. And guess what? Ed leaned into that. He started appearing on multiple YouTube channels, framing himself as someone who just does dumb things, almost playing into the persona people already had of him.
I just do naturally I do dumb things, like you saw in the video with, vacuuming the cookies, and there's 1,000 different ones. Anyway, so...
He even appeared on a show with H3H3 and recreated his famous mayonnaise hair care routine. And yeah, that didn't help much.
Ed, bring it over here.
No.
Bring it over here so we can see on camera. It's right here. That's good. Absolutely. So Big Ed is dumping the mayonnaise on the spatula.
Oh my God.
What we have here is a nice ring of mayonnaise on the spatula.
Oh.
It is looking beautiful. Zach, would you like to smell it before we engage? No.
Oh my God,
excellent.
that's a lot.
Okay, so don't worry about making a mess. It's totally fine.
Oh,
And so what?
One thing you're going to notice, Zach, is it's going to be cold.
so cold.
Okay?
What?
It's cold, okay? And the second thing you're going to notice is it smells like egg salad sandwiches.
Now, Zach, go ahead and tell me from your experience, how is this going?
Smell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
I recommend more shampoo at this point. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
get just a lot of shampoo, I think.
He stayed active on social media, which kept him relevant, and since he wasn't widely hated yet, people actually wanted to see him embarrass himself even more. He also started making cameos and made a significant amount of money from them. That level of popularity didn't go unnoticed by TLC.
I want you to return the favor. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Sexy pics always work. Michael, that doesn't mean that you send me anything sexy. Send them to her. Go easy on the Tanner, okay? You're not Donald Trump.
Eventually, he was brought back for another show called 90 Day, The Single Life, a spin-off of the original series. This is where he meets his next major relationship. Liz was a 28-year-old waitress and a single mother, someone Ed had been friends with for a few months before eventually asking her out on a date. And unsurprisingly, she was also younger than his daughter at the time.
I'm about to ask my friend Liz out on a date. I've had a crush on Liz for about 2 months. She's a totally hot waitress manager. She's 28 years old.
They went on a couple of dates, and at first, it seemed like Liz might have actually cared about Ed, at least to some extent. But she made one thing very clear from the beginning. She wanted to take things slow and not rush into a relationship, especially because of her past divorces.
It's kind of hard to think about somebody else outside of just my daughter, Riley. It was very easy to become selfish after 2 long-term relationships, so.
Who was the first one Riley's dad?
And then I had a second marriage, but I don't ever really talk about that.
Oh.
That was like, I think, the worst heartbreak, so.
But it's fresh. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
fresh. Yeah.
I'm definitely not putting myself in a position to rush again from 2 divorces, and I'm still guarded. We've grown like a great connection, but I have no problems telling Ed if I only feel like this is gonna be a friendship and not moving forward just because of my very recent heartbreak.
And it's not like the dates themselves were anything special. The first one already felt awkward, with very little chemistry between them.
So how's it going?
Good. Good. Starving.
Starving, I know.
I was getting hangry.
So, here we are. Oh my God.
I wore flip-flops specifically.
The second date was somehow even stranger. He took her to a goat farm where they did yoga, which sounds unique in theory, but in reality just meant trying to focus while also trying not to get rammed by goats. Not exactly relaxing.
So the goats are gonna make it extra challenging here. Exhale, palms down to the mat.
At one point, they even had a conversation about the age gap. Liz brought up how it could be an issue, especially considering Ed's history and how similar it was to his previous relationship.
You say that you're kind of in the same boat as me, and then I've talked about my daughter. I wanted to talk about your daughter or how that relationship is.
So her big thing, especially with my last relationship, she had a lot of reservations because of the age.
How old is she?
30.
30? Well, I'm 28. So, yeah, she has a right to feel that way. I can only imagine if I was in her shoes. I hope you and your daughter work on that. It does worry me, though, with the whole age thing or something. Like, all those problems that came with, like, Rose would come up again.
Ed responded with the classic age is just a number, which came off as pretty creepy and cringe, to be honest. Liz immediately pushed back, making it clear that to her, age did matter.
So
Age is just a number.
I don't exactly believe in that.
And even behind the scenes, his mindset didn't really match what she was asking for. At one point, he talked about wanting to get Liz into a hot tub with him, which didn't exactly line up with the whole taking things slow approach she had been very clear about.
I mean, I might as well just go for it. And maybe I can get Liz in the hot tub by the end of tonight.
But by the third date, despite Liz repeatedly saying she wasn't sure she even wanted a relationship, Ed decided to ignore all of that and went in for a kiss. Liz pulled away and said it felt too soon, making it clear once again that he wasn't really listening to her boundaries.
You don't mind if I stare at you? Where's your car at?
Like right there.
Cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you. You can't do that.
Why not? I kissed your nose.
No.
Too soon?
That kind of pushed me back.
Where?
Huh? I didn't know you were going in for that.
I didn't either.
The awkward moments were already bad enough on their own, but Ed somehow made things even worse, as he always does. At one point, he stopped by the restaurant where Liz worked and saw her having drinks with another man. Instead of letting it go or asking about it calmly, he brought it up the next time they met and confronted her in the worst way possible, even though they weren't officially dating at that point.
I saw you together, and then I kind of came over to say hi, but I felt kind of like I was interrupting.
He's my good friend, as a guy friend, and there's nothing between us.
Okay, hold on one second. And then I saw you guys walk into your car one night.
He walks me all the time to the parking
But
garage.
I think he likes you. I mean, who wouldn't?
And it turned out to be nothing. The guy was just a coworker she regularly hung out with. But Ed's reaction made it clear how insecure and controlling he could be, even this early on. A similar situation happened again when he accused Liz of wanting to get back with her ex-husband, just because she had run into him at some point. Again, this was while they still weren't even in a proper relationship.
With girlfriends on a girls' night out, and by coincidence ran into her ex-husband. I have this insecurity with her that she might go back to her ex because I think she has in the past. So I basically accused her of still being in contact with him, which was not the right thing to do.
It was a huge reach, but it showed a pattern. Even without commitment, Ed was already actively possessively and jumping to the worst conclusions. But despite all of this, they actually decided to pursue a relationship together. And honestly, we don't know how he pulled it off when he said the goofiest, most cringe-inducing lines ever. Like, you were born the same week my divorce was finalized, so I feel like you're here for a reason.
You were born the same week my divorce was finalized. So for me, I'm like, you're here for a reason.
Yeah, the audacity is honestly unfathomable. But it's not like their relationship was ever that stable to begin with. Over the course of just a few months, they kept breaking up and getting back together repeatedly. It was a constant cycle, and it started almost immediately after they became official. One of the first major things Ed did was introduce Liz to his daughter, who ironically was older than her. It was the same daughter who already had issues with Ed dating women that young. The problem wasn't just the age dynamic, it was the timing. The relationship was still brand new, and Ed was already rushing things again, saying, "I love you" early on, and trying to force a level of seriousness that just wasn't there yet.
Too soon for that.
I'm just kidding.
Introducing her to his daughter at that stage only made things more complicated. It wasn't just too soon, it also put Liz in an uncomfortable position, especially given how his daughter already felt about the situation. She literally says it's too soon for herself.
That's also a little nerve-wracking. being the same age. So,
You know, the age, for me, it's a number.
The entire situation blew up almost immediately. The moment his daughter Tiffany sat down with them, there was an awkward silence, followed by her going straight into the age issue. She clearly wasn't comfortable with the relationship, and she didn't try to hide it.
I'll just break that. This is awkward.
It is awkward.
It is. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually meeting a girlfriend, really. My concern is with the age gap and the fact that you are younger than me. Not by much, but still, like, why are you dating somebody that's younger than your daughter? Like, that's weird. Because if roles were reversed, he would lose his shit if I was dating somebody that was 54. Number one, I wouldn't do it because that's just not me. My max is 12 years.
Behind the scenes, it got even worse. Tiffany was seen making fun of Liz, which only added to how uncomfortable the whole situation already was.
Walking in and seeing my dad and Liz, it's a lot. I'm afraid for my dad to get his heart broken. Again, Rose and Liz are similar. They both have younger kids and they're both younger than me. But Liz looks older than me. She looks rugged. Botox does wonders.
And instead of diffusing any of it, Ed only made things more awkward by saying he found the two of them alike, which made no sense in context and was honestly creepy.
But I was telling her that you guys are like the same.
I'm gonna say that weirds me out. That's just awkward as That is the last thing I want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear, oh yeah, my girlfriend is like you.
Later on, things reportedly escalated further when Tiffany brought a friend into the conversation off camera, and the two of them were seen giggling, chatting, and making jokes at Liz's expense, including comments suggesting she should find men her own age.
and then at the club, I heard Tiffany and the comments the friend was saying, giggling, chatting, can't you just find someone your age? I was sitting right next to her. It was very disrespectful.
Later on, Ed, after sensing things were off at the hotel, kept pushing Liz to talk about issues she clearly didn't want to discuss, repeatedly crossing her boundaries until it became too much. She ended up flying back from Vegas alone the next morning. Even in hindsight, Ed often seemed to victimize himself, framing the situation as if he were the one being hurt rather than acknowledging his role in it.
Sitting in this hotel room, all by myself, I felt like I was back in the Philippines when Rose and I broke up.
When they later reconciled on 90 Day the Single Life, they went on a beach trip where Ed once again fumbled things by asking Liz to move in with him. This was still within the same 90-day time frame, despite Liz repeatedly saying she didn't want to move too fast. She even ended up agreeing uncomfortably on camera.
I want my home to be our home. And I want to ask you to move in.
Ed loves to rush our relationship. When we finally became a couple, the next week I was meeting his daughter, the next week I was meeting his sister, his brother.
But in the reunion episode, it was revealed they had broken up again. Tiffany said they broke up around 7 times during filming, and Liz confirmed Ed's constant rushing was a major reason.
We broke up.
You broke up?
Yeah.
We broke up a month ago today.
During the reunion, Ed tried to get emotional on screen, saying it was the first time someone had loved him.
29 years that I had somebody that was interested in me.
But Liz shut that down, revealing that just 2 days after their breakup, he blocked her and went to Vegas to party with strippers.
You blocked me and went to Vegas.
Are you saying that Ed was hanging out with other women?
I didn't expect to be dumped and then him be out in Vegas living the life.
How soon after you guys broke up did you know he was hanging out in Vegas?
Like 2 days.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
2 days.
Damn, bro.
Wow.
You sound like a piece of shit that would make me blush. That's saying something. You're tricking Liz here. You gave her all this crap while you're all having fun with all the sugar babies. What the fuck is she supposed to do?
That moment fully turned the room against him, and public opinion followed, with many finally seeing him as manipulative and emotionally inconsistent. And to make it worse, after the show, Ed later asked Liz for a private conversation under the guise of reconciliation, while behind the scenes he told the cameraman he was probably going to sleep with her, even though he knew he shouldn't.
I'm gonna grab my stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight. I mean, I'm thinking about whether I'm gonna wanna have sex with her or not. It's probably not a good idea.
Is that gonna stop you?
Probably not.
There was even a leaked phone call after all of this in which Ed was being very disrespectful, which only pushed public opinion further against Ed.
I'll always love you, but I can't be with you.
Are you done? Because I've been sitting around the corner from your house from the second I clocked out.
I don't give a fuck, Liz. You're fucked up. Fuck you, dude. You're fucked up.
Stop speaking to me like this, Ed. Stop!
For you to even offer to give a coworker a ride home to El Cajon, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I called you and asked you, and you said...
I don't give a fuck.
Then why did you say yes? Why did you say okay?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You are fucked up in the head. If I would have said no, you would have freaked out. Oh, you're jealous or whatever. But what right do you have to ask me?
What right do you have to get back together with me and go to clubs in Vegas?
After this season aired, a petition was started to remove Big Ed from TLC. And it wasn't just because of the phone call or the fact that public opinion had clearly turned against him. It also came from the growing number of concerns and uncomfortable questions surrounding his behavior overall. An ex-coworker who had previously come forward with allegations of inappropriate behavior and harassment from his time working as a photographer before the Rose situation ever happened, a TikTok creator known as Lordikeet also shared claims that she had worked with Ed and described her experience, alleging that he had harassed her over a period of time and on one occasion physically restrained her shortly after meeting her.
Let's get into some of the details about the allegations that you have come forth with. So you have said on your TikTok videos that is it both sexual harassment and sexual assault?
Yeah, it's both. For about 9 months, I was being harassed by him and also by him. I don't know if you've seen my last TikTok or one of my TikToks about an example of the first day that I met him, and that was also assault. So a lot going on with these allegations.
So he put you in an arm lock on the first day that you met him.
Yeah.
Did he? That was just day one. Did he do anything else physically?
She also claimed that his behavior followed a pattern of targeting much younger women, typically in their mid-20s.
By the end of it, I ended up in the hospital from an incident that happened with him, and I ended up having a lot of health issues from it. This was about 4 years ago, so I've been still trying to heal myself since that incident.
Okay, I see. Now, why do you think that Big Ed targeted you specifically?
So, I think Ed has kind of like this MO for going for vulnerable younger women. At the time, I was 24, about the age of Rose, and at that age, you're really trying to figure out what's going on in the world. You're not quite sure how.
While Ed has denied these allegations, and they were never proven in court, they've continued to circulate online and are often referenced when discussing his past. Even without the allegations, his on-screen behavior already showed a pattern that many people saw as inappropriate and self-serving, especially given how often he framed himself as the victim. And while the harassment claims were never proven, the way he presented himself publicly, going after women much younger than him, even younger than his own daughter, and his past infidelity made those allegations easier for people to believe. Even Liz signed the petition, sharing it on her Instagram. But while many people hoped something would change, others already knew how this would play out. As one Reddit comment put it, this never works. If anything, controversy sells and gets views. The more he's mentioned on social media, and the more he gets shown. These shows don't care if you like or hate a character, they just want you to talk about them. These anti-Ed campaigns are actually backfiring by increasing his visibility, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Instead of being removed, Ed came back again. By season 2 of The Single Life, TLC brought him right back, because like it or not, he was still getting attention, and we all know TLC loves the shock factor. He was back on the market, and of course, he wasted no time trying to capitalize on it. He went on a date with a woman locally, but that didn't work out. Shocking, we know. By this point, his reputation had pretty much caught up with him.
Let's talk about relationships.
Okay, so I'm not good at them.
Mm-hmm.
And Liz, the last woman I dated, was 28. I make up and break up 8 times. Who does that?
8 times. Who did the breaking up? Wow.
So naturally, instead of reflecting or changing anything, Ed decided to switch strategies. If it's not working here, why not just go somewhere else? This time he set his sights on Mexico, going after a woman named Kaori. And in peak Big Ed fashion, after just one Skype call, he thought the best possible move was to fly out and meet her in person, and for some reason bring his mom along too.
So Laura tells me that you're single.
I'm single, very single.
Oh, gracias. Okay, mas. I'm just kidding.
Needless to say, the plan worked out exactly how you'd expect. In what was now a very familiar storyline, almost a repeat of his last 2 relationships, Ed once again ignored boundaries, rushed into talk of marriage, pushed introductions way too early, and moved at a speed no one else was even close to matching.
Me pareció bonito que Ed abriera su corazón hacia mí, pero que una relación se construye, y para construir se necesitan días, semanas, meses, años.
And of course, it all ended on a yacht, because why not, where Kaori left him there alone, effectively walking away from yet another situation that had become painfully predictable. And that wasn't the only loss Ed suffered by this point. His dog, which he took everywhere, had passed away. Now that might make you sympathize with him for a moment, but the reason it matters here is what it led to. Not long after, he received a package offering condolences for his dog, and somehow that ended up leading to a date with none other than Liz. The craziest part is that this time they weren't just dating, they were engaged.
I am engaged.
We're engaged.
The episode where Ed was left alone on that yacht had been filmed just 2 weeks earlier, and according to Liz, they had gotten engaged only 8 days before it was revealed. Which means, doing the math, just 6 days before asking Liz to marry him, Ed was trying to get Kaori to marry him. So clearly, a lot of deep thought, emotional growth, and careful decision-making went into that proposal. It was almost funny watching Liz start to buy into the same weird narratives Ed kept feeding her. At some point, Ed had convinced her that every breakup wasn't really his fault, that it was always someone else interfering or causing problems. And somehow Liz ended up repeating the same version of events on the Single Life reunion.
What I recently found out is anytime he broke up with me, it wasn't him messaging me.
Even all the other contestants could clearly see what was going on.
Whoever you pay or is stupid enough to do it for free is like, hey, can you break up with my broad for me?
Well,
I just fucked her and left her. I don't want to write a long message, and my grammar ain't too good.
Liz, you gotta wake up. And you're not in love with her. You're using her. You are desperate.
Who's not?
That alone should have been the end of it, but of course it wasn't. Instead, they brought them back once again for 90-day happily ever after. And honestly, you just had to wonder, when is enough actually enough? On the show, they had 2 engagement parties on screen, and one of them still managed to completely implode. There had been an altercation involving Liz and her friend, and of course, Ed took that and jumped straight to accusing her of cheating with her, because clearly that was the only conclusion he could reach. Instead of handling it privately like a normal person, he decided the best possible moment to confront her was right there, in the middle of their engagement party. Perfect timing as always.
We got in a relationship.
Seriously?
That's what it looked like.
Seriously?
Yeah, later.
Oh, yourself.
No.
No,
Baby.
go have fun if that's what you're gonna think.
Liz didn't exactly calm things down either. She stormed out dramatically and didn't come back, fully committing to the I'm done exit.
Liz, you're ruining the entire evening for your mom, for your grandma. You are out of control, you're drunk.
Shut the up.
Liz, you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm not embarrassing myself.
Which would have made sense if they didn't both live in the same house.
Liz, she was a lesbian that you were in a relationship with. She got physical with you.
When?
And you denied it.
When?
You tell me.
So now you had two people running away from each other like it was over, only to eventually walk back into the same front door later as if nothing had happened. Absolute cinema. But this was nowhere near the worst of it from Ed. During the season, he did a lot of questionable things with Liz. He didn't directly call her fat, but he made these so-called positive hints about her needing to lose weight.
And I also eat pie, and I have a sweet tooth. I'm overweight too.
You could even fit into your. Am I overweight, Ed?
Liz, why are you using the
Am
F word?
I overweight?
No. I've never called Liz fat. I'll drop positive hints.
This included showing her old photos of when she was skinnier, which clearly didn't land well. At one point while drunk, he even admitted he would sleep with one of Liz's model friends. Coming from this guy, it just made the whole thing even more surreal.
You drink to a point where you can't stand up.
Every
Liz,
single
I've never drank to the point where I can't stand up.
You told me when you were drunk the other night that you would rather sleep with Alex her than me.
But by far the most chaotic part was the reunion episode of the season. Besides revealing that the wedding was off and they had broken up, Liz dropped multiple bombshells. She revealed that during their relationship, Ed had been active on multiple Asian dating apps. Ed denied it repeatedly in that classic frustrating way where he just kept digging in instead of actually addressing it.
I don't know if he's been seeing anybody else, but I know he was on a dating app.
How do you know?
I got a screenshot through Instagram.
Because she spies on me.
I got a screenshot through Instagram that my mom found. How am I spying on you when it's an Asian dating website?
Okay, so let's back.
You were on a dating.
Okay, let's back up.
Dating website.
Again,
When we got
it was
the
a year and a half
screenshot,
old,
my mom and I created an account, which was very hard to create an account.
which is kind of weird.
Then came the bigger shock, or at least what should have been one. Liz accused Ed of being in contact with Rose. Ed denied that as well at first. Then when pressed again, his answer conveniently shifted to, I don't remember. Not exactly a solid defense.
I would have to go back and look. I may have said hello. We're friends on Instagram.
But you don't remember if you have been in any kind of text conversation with her recently.
I may have. I don't remember.
At that point, Rose was even brought up on screen and confirmed that Ed had contacted her, which pretty much shut the whole thing down.
Ed always asking me for FaceTime. He want to video call with him to FaceTime.
So Ed said that he hasn't spoken to you at all, and then now he's saying he can't remember if he spoke to you.
I didn't.
That's not true.
The episode ended with Liz and Ed splitting again, with Ed leaving for Boston like it was some dramatic reset button.
I don't want to be Liz's enemy. I would like to remain as her friend. I don't hate her. Like, you know, I still love her. I'm just gonna have to figure out a different way to love her. It's not fair to her that I do keep going back to her. It's not a healthy thing. And I apologize for my behavior. That's not who I am. My ring is here. And I didn't want to ask for it back, but you know, it's 13 grand and you know, maybe I'll give it to my daughter. We came with separate accommodations, so she has her own room, which I've stayed away from her and I've had my own room. And you know, we have flights back. I asked her to come with me to Boston, but I don't want her to be there, so. I do want to text the producer as well as Liz and just so they'll be on the same string.
And then, of course, they got back together again. Because at this point, why wouldn't they? As expected, they were dragged back for another show. More fights followed, more breakups, and somehow they still chose to stay together long enough to reach another season of 90 Day Fiancé, where a wedding was once again scheduled like this was all normal behavior. But this time, Liz's eyes finally seemed to be opening. Between viewers, online criticism, and especially her own mom and grandmother stepping in, she was finally pushed to see what everyone else had been seeing for a while. Ed really wasn't the right choice.
I didn't expect 2 for the price of 1, I'm gonna be told.
Well, maybe you should have been a man.
Well, maybe you should have done a better job raising your daughter.
Oh, I did a fantastic job raising my daughter. That's why
you
you're
sure
out.
have.
Get out of our face, Ed. Please let us pass.
That's why you abandoned her.
Get out.
And thankfully, this was finally the end of it, at least for good this time. Supposedly. They did appear together one last time on a reunion episode, but this time Liz showed up with her new boyfriend, Jason, just to make sure Ed fully understood the message.
Jason, don't sweep things under the rug. You better deal with the issues or you'll be sitting here just like I am.
We've had arguments, like I just said. It's not a big deal. We approach them. We're not immature. We're both a grown adult.
At this point, Ed was still clearly desperate to hold on to whatever was left of his 90-day fame. But by now, his reputation was completely in the gutter. Between petitions, public backlash, and years of chaotic relationships, the only attention he was really getting was from people watching him fall apart in real time. And unfortunately for him, that's exactly what kept him relevant. He even tried to take things a step further by announcing an engagement to a fan. Yes, a fan. He showed up with a makeshift paperclip ring that didn't even look remotely official and made a public announcement about it. The problem was, the woman herself didn't even really seem to take it seriously. She barely knew him and quickly made it clear that she was not engaged to Big Ed, despite whatever he had decided was happening in his head. And it didn't stop there. After the announcement, it became even clearer what was going on. This wasn't some genuine romantic moment, it was essentially a pitch. Ed himself framed it in a way that made it obvious this wasn't about love at all, but about staying connected to the 90-day franchise, staying relevant, and at the end of the day, chasing money and clout. So by this point, the pattern wasn't just noticeable anymore, it was the entire story. Every relationship, every appearance, every comeback attempt just led back to the same place. A man still chasing attention, still trying to stay on screen, and still somehow convinced that this time would be different. But if there's one thing this entire timeline made clear, it's that it never really was. Currently, Ed is just irrelevant, trying desperately to stay in the limelight, but the audience for his BS is just not there anymore.